Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. And we are here to catch up on some Chelsea news and updates. Main topic today is Jules Kounde because there was some breaking news yesterday in regards to him potentially having to undergo surgery. Now, there's been more breaking news since yesterday, which we'll be going through on this stream today. We'll also be talking about Dembele, a bit about Kante, Pulisic. We'll start with Billy Gilmour. Saving Lukaku for the end as always, my favourite player to always talk about. But big up to every single one of you guys, man. Sorry it's not been everyday shows. At the moment, Chelsea's been very quiet and I've been still trying to get myself sorted in this house. But the one thing I will promise is the more that we pick up, the more, which I expect, transfers to happen with this football club, fingers crossed, which we're going to talk about in a minute. The more shows we'll be doing and we'll be going through everything, bringing in the break-ins. And like I said, I'm hoping that will pick up more so now. But there's over 30 of you guys here already. Big up to every single one of you guys. Thank you for tuning in on this afternoon show as well. Make sure you smash the like button. Let's get these likes up let's get to 100 likes, guys. See how quickly we can get this to 100 likes. Please share on your socials as well. Subscribe if you're new. And it's cue the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. Big up every single one of you guys in the chat at the moment. We'll be going through your comments in a second. But we are here to catch up on some Chelsea news, Chelsea topics. Where are we as we speak? I streamed 3 days ago. We've had Ben Jacobs on. We had Pies on. Half the show, should we say. And now it's just me today. Just me going through all of the stuff that has happened since. Chelsea still haven't done any business in the window yet. And I feel that certain people are slightly starting to panic already. Would be my answer. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to get into all of that anyway, because there's lots to talk about, as always. But it's only been a week into the window, just over a week into the window now. Other clubs are moving out quicker than us, which is no surprise. Let's be serious. As a football club, we don't move quickly. We've got a habit of not moving quickly in these windows. But let's go through the chat before we get into things. Big up to Talk CFCs, big up GNA TV, big up to you, my guy. Nice to see you in the house. Sosa, good to see you as well. Still no for Chelsea. You hate Liverpool City, even Spurs make him and Chelsea sleeping. Told you. I mean, Sosa, we need to calm down a little bit. It's only just over a week. I have no issue with my club maybe taking a little bit longer than others, providing that we're doing things in the dark. And what worries me is that if we're not doing that, and we're missing targets like Bissouma, we're missing targets like Tchouaméni, yeah, that's a problem. And that's something we will definitely discuss. But at this moment in time, it is, for me, still too early for us to sit here and start panicking about being slow when the window's only been open for just over a week. Chelsea may have been held back because of the Jules Kounde surgery, which we found out recently. This is something that may have stalled Chelsea from maybe pushing an announcement, pushing an agreement. Right? There's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration when it comes to that. That makes sense. In terms of Dembele, seems to be speeding up. I do expect, and I will say this, I do expect Chelsea to do something this week. Something, somewhere, an agreement with someone. Just something from a tier one coming out saying Chelsea have done this. And if it's only on one player, I'm cool with that for now. And then we can move on to the upcoming weeks and start narrowing down, if there is any other targets from the ball to Tuchel to Bowley, who they are. And hopefully we start seeing that as we progress into the transfer market. But I think patience is unfortunately a game that we're quite forced into having to be used to. It's not something that we always want to happen or want to see. But unfortunately, I feel this is the way Chelsea are at the moment. However, under a new owner, it's going to be interesting to see what sort of type of window they do have. What sort of type of window will they have, and what will they do with this time? And I've already said to you guys, it needs to be a smart window. It needs to be a smart window, and they do need to be kind of aggressive. They do need to be like a Spurs, for example. But let's move on. Spurs are coming for us, is what Neo's saying. Don't worry yet. Don't get me wrong. They're doing some good signings and they're getting their business done early. But I think that's more of a thing of that they were forced into doing that because of the manager they have. And in Kante, we already know you don't back him, he goes. That's just how he is. So it looks like they're showing backing. Good on them. Let's see what happens moving forward. We're going to finish 4th next season with the way Spurs are moving, is what Surfs is saying. Big Ron, big up to you. Says, good afternoon, folks. Nice to see you in the house. M3 as well. Big up to everyone. Gonna get some of the stream in before my flight. Oh, where are you flying to, my man? Let us know in the chat. Big up to Untaken CFC in the house. Terry the Goat. Here we go. GNA TV in the house. Big up to Terry the Goat. Thank you for tuning in as well. Brighton signed Bissouma for 25 million. Never saw this coming, Jim. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the news, I was slightly like, whoa, what are we doing for 25 mil? Why have we not moved for that? Why have other clubs not moved for the signing of Bissouma for that much? It makes no sense. And you think about what Chelsea need in that central midfield area. I've liked and wanted Bissouma for a while. I've made it very clear to you guys that Bissouma is a player that would have fit Chelsea, and for 25 million. The only real thing that makes me feel that maybe a Chelsea and maybe an Arsenal, United, or others that may have had interest in Bissouma took a step back is just this court case. Is it a big risk? If he's founded guilty and stuff like that, do you want that sort of identity of player wearing your shirt? What does it then do for you moving forward? Can you allow him to play if he's taken to, if there's imprisonment sentences and things like that? So that's the only real risk. But other than that, talking about the player himself, he's a very good player. Big up to Declared in the house. Sir Thomas Tuchel, nice to see you. Never seen Jem this happy. Probably Krusty's gone. Fator. Big up to Fator in the house. Rosen, big up to you. Aaron, nice to see you in the house. Who else we got here quickly? Hiking with Martin. Nice to see you, bro. Nice to see you in the chat. NS Sports, big up to you. Big up to you. Matty's in the house as well. Nice to see Matty in the house. Jose, nice to see you, brother. Nice to see all of the GNA community people in the house as always. Big up to you. Marina Gravskaiman talks with Juventus for Matthias de Ligt. Well, get on with it. Why are you here watching me? Go get him signed. Go get him signed. California. Big up to you, my man. Big up to you. You're traveling to California. Big up to you. It's funny. The other day I was in Liverpool Street in London trying to find my way back home. I was rushing around mad. I ended up going up to this guy and I was like, and he worked there, obviously giving people directions where the trains are and whatever. And I was like, mate, I'm trying to get to, and he went, Jem. I was just like, excuse me? He's like, Jem, GNA, Jem. In the middle of Liverpool Street Station, I've got a fucking queue of people behind me trying to see him, try and get directions. He's talking to me about GNA TV. I was just shocked. I was like, yeah, Jem, GNA. He's like, oh yeah, I'm subscribed to you. Big up to you, man. Big up to that guy, though, man. Big up to him. Hopefully, he's tuned in right now in the chat as well. He was a fan, a subscriber of this channel. It's just weird when you go out and people notice you from your own channel. I'm not going to lie. Got lost, Jem. I get it. Last summer we said the same thing. Remember, until I agree. But Sosa, just over a week. I think we still have to give it time. I think we still have to be patient. It's not something that we can be jumping the gun on about as well. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Dexter. Big up to every single one of you. Cheers. We are too. So, yeah, at the moment, maybe. But at the same time, I feel that we have to still be a little bit patient, guys. Just over a week. And I don't want to keep reiterating myself when I say this, but I'm willing to wait out the long game, providing that we are making smart moves and we're doing things in the dark. In theory, Chelsea have got a history of doing things in the dark. And I think we have to understand that every club does things a little bit different. I would prefer Chelsea under Todd Bowley to be a lot more aggressive in the window. So if you want A, B, C, and D, make it clear and set a statement. Do you know what I mean? Like make yourself clear to what you're doing. At the moment, I feel like Chelsea like doing things in the backgrounds. People don't know much. Some of the tier ones are getting spoon-fed with certain information. It's always Chelsea are interested. Chelsea, you are interested in this one. Maybe want that one. Maybe want this one. Maybe want who, this, that, what. And it just becomes a bit frustrating. When you look at Spurs, bang, 25 million Bissouma, bang, there you go. Like, their intentions are clear and aggressive. I wouldn't say that yet, mate. I wouldn't say that just yet. Big up to you. Go. Well, it does limit our options, Aaron. it really does limit our options. Bissouma's gone. Tchouameni's gone. You know, there's talks about Sangari. Is he ready at that level? No. Declan Rice is available still. But then you're looking at someone that's going to cost you nearly 130 to 150 million. Are the football club going to do that? I'm not too sure. West Ham have come out and said they're willing to negotiate for anything in around 75 million plus for Declan Rice. I don't see West Ham being forced into selling him for anything less than 100 million. And that's why I just feel that I don't feel Chelsea are going to do that unless they sell a lot of players. Unless they sell a lot of players and they have enough money to back up the budget that they've originally been given. So if they've been given a 200 million budget, but they want Declan Rice, then they're going to have to sell players. They can't get Declan Rice, get Kounde, talk about Ligt, get Dembele in. I don't know what else we're going to do. You know, we're going to need another defender, Koulibaly, whatever. I don't know. Yeah. We can talk about getting that young goalie in as well. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that is going to cost this club. And it's going to be more than 200 million if you're looking at bringing in one big marquee signing in Declan Rice. And that's why I'm saying we're going to have to sell players. We've got a lot to do. And I'm going to keep saying this, we've got a lot to do in a short space of time. I know it's only just been a week and I'm willing to be patient, but at the same time, it is a short space of time. August the 6th or the 7th, I think it is, the Premier League starts. Pre-season starts when? In the next couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, people will call back in. Like, there's a lot that needs to go on, you know. We are going to be talking about Dembele with Kounde. We're going to get into all that now. Big up to Bex in the house wishes. Get to 60 likes. We've only got 31 likes over nearly 100 of you guys here. We should easily be over 50 likes now, guys. If you haven't hit the like, subscribe, smash the like, share in your socials as well. Let's get this up, guys. Let's get this up. We are going to start delving in to everything Chelsea now. All of the news, breaking it down, giving our thoughts and opinions. Get your thoughts in the chat as well, guys. I want to hear everything that you guys feel on this. Big up to Kazim at QNTV. Go and check him out as well. It's literally his name, QNTV. Does a lot of Chelsea social as well. Where there is something called installment, you don't pay up front. No, I get that. But then you know, to have an installment worthwhile, there is also going to be a release. I think there would be a release clause in that. I think you'd have to also split that money over a long period, over 5 to 6 years for someone like Declan Rice. These are things that maybe West Ham may not want. West Ham may want that money quicker than maybe Chelsea want to maybe fund it. And these are things that may just take long. This is why I think with a Declan Rice, it's going to be hard to negotiate because you're forcing a club to sell in their best player when they're not going to want to do that. And in theory, you could wait another year where his contract lessens. I think he's got 1 year left on his contract next year. I think he finishes in 2024. And then you've got the option to maybe get him even cheaper and the player can force himself out the door. And it makes it a lot easier for Chelsea to negotiate. At the moment, we're being forced into a corner to sign Declan Rice because there's not many options there. We know there's a long-term interest from Chelsea Football Club, but then it's just, are we going to make that move, you know? Anyway, we're going to get into it all anyway. We're going to get into it all. I'm talking about things we're going to talk about later. Anyway, Lukaku is staying. I did say that. Don't know why you think that undertakes CFC. No, we're going to talk about Kounde. Lots to talk about as well. Let's get into it. Let's get into the stuff that I've got. Make sure you're smashing them likes. Let's get this to 100 likes as quickly as possible. And we're going to start off real quickly with this comment here in regards to Billy Gilmour. So, official statement from Chelsea FC itself. Fabrizio Romano has also come out and said Chelsea announced they have now exercised an extension to extend Billy Gilmour's contract until 2024. The fielder who spent the past season on loan at Norwich City will remain at the Bridge for at least 2 more years. Good news. Some people may felt that he would have been sold or moved on. I always thought Thomas Tuchel had a bit of an interest with Billy Gilmour. Will he stay at Chelsea this window? I think it all depends on what we do in the summer market in that position. Because if we don't sign anyone, or we do sign someone that is not of a marquee signing, that's going to need a bit of bedding time. You're going to need to have depth and options to be able to fill that guy in. So if it's a Sangari, for example, when he comes to Chelsea, you know he may not kick the ground running. He may not be able to play 50 games a season. You know, it's going to take him maybe a little bit of time to adapt. Maybe not, who knows. But, you know, having that rotation And, you're going to have to keep either or Kante or Jorginho on top of that as well. With Kovacic, you're going to have depth and options. And some people might feel like Billy Gilmour's not the answer to Chelsea going to winning titles. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely worth having as backup. And when you look at last season and how much we struggled last season, because we lost Kovacic, we lost Kante, we lost a number of players in that position, it makes sense to me for us to go and can give this boy another 2 years. It's important that we give, we have that option, I feel, because we didn't have it last year. That's the only reason I feel Billy Gilmour's been kept. Trust me, Richarlison, he ain't coming to Chelsea for 60, 70 million euros. I can promise you that. Courtney, big up to you. Nice to see you in the house. Winter Surfers here as well says the extension is just to protect Chelsea and get more money than we will. To protect Chelsea and get more money than we will. I get what you're saying to a degree. Do you not feel that he's gonna? That's what you're saying here. This extension for Gilmour is just to protect the club when we sell him this summer. Okay, so you're saying give him the contract extension so that if we do sell him, we can get some sort of residual value for him. Potentially, I hear that. Big up to Matthew. Big up to Mike Green in the house as well. You could be United. I mean, yeah, you guys are in a bit of a sticky boat as well, aren't you? To be honest, mate. Yeah, let's get these likes up, peeps. Let's get these likes up. Over 100 of you guys here, 16 minutes in. Big up to every single one of you guys. We're going to fly through this because the main topic today is Jules Kounde. We're going through everything that we can find up to now. We'll open up the lines as well. We're going to switch to something else real quickly, which is... Where's he gone? Christian Pulisic. Because Cy Phillips at The Athletic UK have commented saying with 2 seasons left on his contract, now is the time for Chelsea to either sign Christian Pulisic to an extension or start thinking about a transfer. The latter looks more likely. So, I know Matty's in the chat. Matty's probably getting very excited with these comments right now that he's seeing. Actually, Matty, I've got your message, but I can't send it now because I just took it off. One sec, I might be able to do it actually. Let me send you the link. 2 seconds, guys, because I'm trying to get this little article up. Oh, actually, no, that's fine. Not that one. Oh, I can't find it, mate. I can't find it. I can't even get back to it now. It's annoying. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. Thank you very much. But yeah, going back to this, Pulisic. So, what did Chelsea do here? Because the only way Pulisic leaves in this summer window is if he forces to leave. But then it's having the interest. Now, with Liverpool signing Núñez, which it looks like it's there, sort of 90 to 100%, why in hell would Pulisic leave? And who will take him on for what I feel Chelsea are going to want for at least 50 to 60 million? Easily for him. Relevant to his form at the moment. I still think you can get a good 50 to 60 million for his age and whatever. Where is he going to go? What are you going to do with him? And even though Athletic UK have come out and said the latter looks more like it's going to happen in the fact that Chelsea won't give him the extension, I feel what could happen is that he plays another season at Chelsea, sees out his second from last season, and going into that summer window next year, dependent on where and how he played in the season that we're going into, will be the decision on whether he gets that contract that that we will offer him, or if we end up selling him. That's the other option we got. Nah, you ain't getting 30 million for Pulisic. You're mad. No way. Chelsea will never sell him for that much. Chelsea will never sell him for that much. I just went Audi, funny enough, just trying to find some chairs. Big up to Daniel Knight in the house as well. I won't plan parade. Look, Matt, he's getting excited because there's a potential of him going at AC Milan, Gem, or Juventus. Well, Ben Jacobs, as you already know, came on this channel and he made it very clear that he feels that Christian Pulisic could potentially go Serie A, and he pushed towards more Juventus. That was the comment. Juventus would have been the option for Pulisic. Maybe you're right. Maybe he does leave this club, but I just don't feel it's going to happen this summer transfer window, and I don't think we should be getting rid of him when, for me, Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech are in a pecking order before him. Personally, for me, when I look at pecking orders of our forwards, I would get rid of Ziyech and Werner before him, but that's my opinion. 45 million. What am I out of my mind about? What have I said, Josh? What have I said, bruv? I know you're a big Pulisic stand. I didn't say anything bad. If anything, I've been sticking up for Pulisic. What is going on? Who bought Kante to Chelsea? What's that about? What are some of these comments today? We're going to talk about that in a bit, actually. We're going to be delving into Kounde talk in a second. If he's worth 60 million, Jesus, he's worth... Well, no, all right, 40 to 50 million. Let's be serious. All right, 40 to 50 million is probably a good shout, at least. What, you guys think he's more? Do you think he's less? Let me know in the chat. Come on, you tell me. How much do you value Christian Pulisic at in the chat? Tell me. I want to know. I want to know what everyone actually feels. Tell me in the chat before we quickly move on. Come on. I still feel that he's going to stay another season. I don't see Chelsea selling him. It makes no sense to sell him if we're also going to get rid of Lukaku, which means we're going to need another 2 forwards. You bring in Dembele, then you're going to have to look to bring in someone else. That just makes no sense to me. Really? You think Chelsea was selling for 30 million? I think you forget how young this kid is. There's no way in hell he's worth 30 million. He's worth 50 million, haters. Back off is what RD's saying. 40 to 50 million. Yeah, I agree with that. I would say in and around 40. All right, maybe not 60. Maybe I over-exaggerated. But all right, 40 to 50. I accept 30 million and 100 quid, and I'll drive there. That myself. Matty can't stand it. 35 mil. I wouldn't sell Pulisic. Listen, I think Chelsea wouldn't sell him. Wouldn't sell him for at least anywhere less than 50 mil. At least 50 mil. Between 45 to 60 mil. If Chelsea can get 45 to 60 mil for him, that's actually good business from us. But I just don't see him going. The thing with Marina, and you already know this, she doesn't sell people for cheap. Or she either lets them run off their contracts and we make no money, or she sells them for decent value. That's Marina. She's never in between. She's either one side or the other. Do you know what I mean? It's a mad one. It's an absolute madness. It's an absolute madness. Anyway, we need to move on because we've got so much to talk about in such a short space of time on this. Big up to Stephen as well in the house. Beck says, not enough likes, folks. Get these likes up, man. If we should be over 50, 52, we should be at 100 likes, guys. Over 105 of you guys here. Let's get these likes up. We're going to quickly fly on to the next quick topic as well, which is a real quick one. Where is it? Here it is. Comments on N'Golo Kante from Cy Phillips. Apparently, Tuchel wants to extend Kante's deal. Kante, though, is open to all options, including interest from France and Spain. So, yes, he's got 1 year left in his contract. Jorginho, who we're still waiting on to see if he will stay or go. Will he go back to Juventus and foresee the rest of his career there? It becomes a bit of an issue for Chelsea, guys. I don't think we've actually deepened it. There's not been enough spoke around the midfield area and targets. There's been interest, who we should be getting, but it hasn't actually been solid foundation. Other than even the Rice thing is more of a, long-term interest. Chelsea won him, this, that, and the other. But nothing really solidified, if that makes sense. And you lose Jorginho or Kante, and you only have Kovacic. You've got Billy Gilmour on extension. We missed out on Bissouma. You miss out on Tchouameni. You miss out on Kamara. What are we doing? We've got issues in the defence because we need 2 defenders. We lose Kante because he decides that he wants to go back to France, and foresee the rest of his career there, and we get some decent money for him. And Jorginho, let's just say Jorginho would have to be forced into staying for 1 more year in my eyes. But you say he doesn't and you lose Jorginho, we're stuck with Kovacic and Gilmour. Who else? And Padu. Chelsea will then be forced into making what I call a panic buy. A panic buy, and that's when you will probably end up seeing us going to buy someone like Declan Rice for stupid money because we're forced into a corner to go and buy a player, which in my eyes, and I'm going to keep telling you this, I don't feel solves our problems. Yeah, he would be great, and we may look better, and whatever, and it will excel us. But when I look at it from a depth element, we ain't going to have enough backup. So either or Kante or Jorginho has to stay. Either or. Whether Kante goes, Jorginho stays, vice versa. Preferably, I would rather keep Kante, extend him, and let Jorginho go. That's my preference. I don't know. I just feel we're in a bit of a sticky period when it comes to the central midfield element because we're missing out on big options, people that were going for bargains. You know, all right, Tchouaméni was what, 70 or 80 odd million euros. Like, we're missing out on some big little options here, guys. And I don't know. I'm not going to panic yet. I ain't going to panic. I'm breathing in, breathing out. I know a lot of Chelsea social media, Twitter, I've seen it. They're all, they're all panicking and worrying about the worst. I think we have to just take a step back and trust that and remember one thing. And there's one real big thing in all of this is that Thomas Tuchel is not on a summer holiday. Thomas Tuchel has decided to work on the squad, work with the football club, and try and strengthen the squad. I know we haven't seen it yet. But at the same time, it doesn't make any sense for Thomas Tuchel as a manager to be hanging around, missing holidays to try and get this squad where he wants it to be, so that we're competitive going into next season, for us then to get close to the end of the window and maybe only bringing in 1 or 2 signings. Because then that tells me that Thomas Tuchel's been sitting on his arse as well. And I don't think he's going to do that. And I think that there is going to be a lot that happens with this football club. I've just got this feeling we will make things happen. And the reason we'll make it happen is because Thomas Tuchel, you would feel, if he's going to be here, is going to be on it. He is going to be so on making sure that when he goes into this next season, he has he has what he wants. He has what he wants. And we are probably going to have to look at the academy in certain areas, or below knees that we brought back to cover our stop gaps of certain positions for a certain period, or for one season maybe. We might have to do that. We sort out the defence. We then bring in Dembele, maybe bring in a central midfielder if we can find one. But then we haven't given ourselves the squad depth, which is something that then we might have to do at a later stage. That could be an issue going into next season. And I'll keep saying, with the wing backs, we need strength and depth. And look, Emerson may be forced to stay, may not be allowed to go to Italy if he wants to go. You know, there's a lot. And I just feel Thomas Tuchel not having that holiday, Thomas Tuchel being in with the board, having supposedly control of the transfers of what he wants, how he wants it. I'm expecting us to at least do some decent business. We have to. Guys, over 160 of you here. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Lewis is here so we can have minutes of applause for life and times of Krusty the Barcelona snake, please. No, is the answer to that. You can do that on your show at 3 o'clock, mate. We're not doing it on here. Sosa calls us Interest FC and Talk FC. Does feel like that at the moment. So, big up to Georgie. Nice to see him in the house as well. But like I said, I expect Thomas Tuchel to really kick on. Aaron saying Kounde, Koulibaly, Declan Rice, Dembele, Jesus, and obviously player sales will help fund maybe a cheap win back. I keep saying this. There is options. We can still have a good summer window, but we need to see action. Kounde could be done. Dembele could be done. Koulibaly's been given an offer supposedly from Chelsea. That's 3 players that you're probably getting of say experience and quality. Then that's without sorting out the central midfield option in Declan Rice. Do we or don't we? Like I said, you bring him in, you're going to have to sell someone of value. Maybe you have to then get rid of a Kante, who we may still be able to get a bit of value for. More probably than you will get for Jorginho, I feel. You know, Jesus, there's talks about Tottenham now interested in Jesus as well. Are we going to, go for him? Sterling, someone said Soyuncu. Sure about that one. There's a lot. There is a lot. Someone's just messaged me something. So let's have a quick look. Interesting. We will talk about that in and around the mix in a bit as well. We've got Matthias de Ligt news to go through now as well. We've got Matthias de Ligt news to review. We've got Kounde, which we're going to go into soon. We've got Dembele to still go through. We've got a little bit of news on Romelu Lukaku as well. So let's get into this, speed it up a bit because we're sitting here talking away. Let's jump on to the next thing. Actually, let me delete this for a second. Keep smashing them likes, though, guys. Keep smashing them likes. Let's get this over 100, please, as quickly as possible. The interest that we have had, and it's becoming more apparent, and this is only part of the reason why that we may be able to get rid of a likes of an Emerson, if Alonso, who we know is already going to Barcelona, is that apparently for Simon Phillips, a second strong source confirms that Wolves left back Ryan Ait-Nouri to replace one-away star Marcos Alonso is an option and is supposedly on. Now, when reading this article, and I have got it here, there's a bit of news in and around who Simon Phillips has spoken to him, and he believes it's a reliable source. A second reliable source in the space of 2 days has confirmed Chelsea interested in signing a Premier League left-back this summer. So they're making it very clear that they want to provide backup to Ben Chilwell. Now, is that because Emerson wants to leave? I said he may be forced to stay. Simon Jones of the Daily Mail has followed up an insider, Alan Nixon's report from yesterday, confirming that Chelsea have an interest in Wolves left-back Ryan Ait-Nouri, who they have added to their list to replace Alonso. Hakim Ziyech is the most likely attacker to leave Chelsea this summer. Find out who else might be, blah, 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 blah. The 21-year-old French youth international was really impressed in the last couple of seasons, and he is also on the radar of Man City. Alonso is expected to be heading to Barcelona this summer, and Chelsea will be looking for a strong backup for Chilwell. We already know this. Chelsea will also Thomas Tuchel will also consider keeping Emerson Palmieri at the club as well. So, what are your thoughts on that? Are you interested in this player? I've seen him for Wolves. He is a good player. Again, he's a player that could just potentially bring squad depth. You bring in someone like Ait-Nouri, it is squad depth in that position. You know, will it happen? Will it not? I don't know. It could be, again, a load of gossip. Chelsea will be linked with every player under the sun, guys. We know this, but it is another area that we do need to sort out. And if Chelsea feel that that is an area that is a potential to be done for a smaller value or a cheaper value, then we should go and get it done. Let's not waste time. Let's make it happen. And let's just be aggressive. You want him, get it done. That's the way I see it. Thomas Tuchel wants him and he signs it off. Get it done. Bring the squad depth into the squad and try and improve this squad overall as quickly as possible. Let's not waste time. Let's make things happen. You know, and that's the biggest thing, you know, and this is where it's going to be interesting. I expect Chelsea to at least bring us some news this week on at least one player signing for us. And then going into the weeks ahead before pre-season, I feel we will probably hear more into where Chelsea are going for this as well. So keep an eye out on this news in and around that as well. Guys, over 190 of you guys here. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. We're going to jump into Jules Kounde news now. And breaking yesterday was that injury for Kounde is hamstring. He played injured today. He will be operated on tomorrow. And that was from Let Equip yesterday. Now, when this news came out yesterday, panic stations were on across social media. Oh my God, let's get at this. Let's not bother. Let's not go and sign a £60 million player because of this injury. I don't like hamstrings. I don't like this. I don't like that. Everyone started having panic stations, didn't they? Let's be serious. Pure panic stations. My response to this was, no, it's annoying. Why Deschamps decides to play him anyway makes no sense if he knows he has a niggly injury and he's due an operation which none of us knew about straight after the back of this game, which is now his last game for France until September, October. Why force him into playing? But when it first came out, my first thoughts were this, because when we read into it a bit more, and we're going to get into it now, it was basically told that his injury was an injury that he's had for months. Now, my first reaction to that was, you know, is it just a minor tear? Because you can't play with a torn hamstring. I'm sorry. There's no way you play months and months and months with a torn hamstring. He may have had a minor tear, and it may have been a niggly injury, something that Maybe it's not giving him too much pain, or maybe he puts a bit of pain relief on when he plays games. Whatever, I don't know, you know. But I was waiting to hear, and I was waiting to see today specifically, because we were told we were going to get more news on Kounde today, what and how serious the length of this injury was. Some people saying, well, if the injury was 8 weeks or 16 weeks and he would have missed pre-season, he'd missed the beginning of the season, let's not bother getting him, because he needs to have a pre-season. Well, Cy Phillips come out today, this morning. He said Jules Kounde will have surgery on a long-standing injury. It is understood that Kounde is having a small intervention that was planned a while ago, and he will be back for pre-season. And that was reported by the Athletic UK. When you scroll down, it says here, as our subscribers would have known about on the site 3 hours ago, you've got a comment here basically saying, injury, what does it mean regards to Jules Kounde, who had to undergo surgery? And then when you click onto here, it basically says that I'm hearing whispers that if he's going for surgery, it won't be serious, and he will be out for 3 weeks with a small recovery period and be ready for the new season again. I have not had this confirmed yet. This is early noise, and the early noise suggests that nothing changes and the deal is not affected. As I say, I think Chelsea might have known about this and the issue, and the surgery was planned, perhaps. I agree 100%. And yesterday, one of the things that I said yesterday in regards to Jules Kounde, and I spoke to a number of groups that I'm in as well, is that I feel that Chelsea were made aware of this. I also commented on one of Piers' comments when he brought this out, saying the same thing. I said, Chelsea would have been aware of this. Chelsea wouldn't have been pushing for this player if it was a long-term injury, you know. Secondly, if it was an injury that was very serious, it may have an effect on the transfer value of Jules Kounde, and Chelsea may be able to get him cheaper. The idea of us just completely pulling out and not going for Jules Kounde makes no sense to me. You know, there's no real sense in us saying, no, don't get him, this, that, and the other. I always felt that it wasn't a serious injury. And then we get it confirmed here from the Absolute Chelsea Athletic UK again. It says the routine procedure is anticipated to keep Jules Kounde out for around 4 weeks. He is believed to have suffered a fairly common pelvis issue. There is no anticipation that it will impact any potential transfer. Now, it went from a hamstring to your pelvis. Don't get me wrong, your hamstring and your pelvis is not miles apart. But the fact that he's got a minor pelvis injury tells me, and he's been playing through it for months, tells me it wasn't a serious injury. Now, part of the reason why he may have undergone this surgery is pretty much common sense. You're going to play for Chelsea. You're going to probably be playing more games than you're not playing. Do you want to risk carrying that injury into Chelsea and potentially making it worse? And he probably feels that he's got a good period of time to recover, get this done, recover, and be back for Chelsea fully fit and ready. You know, with no niggle injuries, and that makes sense to me. Why he would want to take that option is a good thing. So 3 weeks time is when our preseason pretty much, um, starts. Shall we say? People call back in here, there, and whatever else. So, people need to calm down with the whole Jules Kounde thing and stop panicking. As soon as we see things at certain times, it's like, oh shit, fuck, we're fucked. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're fucked. And from what we've understood from today, we'll wait and see after the op. We've got more to go through with Jules Kounde. It seems that it's not as serious as people thought it was, and that Chelsea Football Club are still willing to sign Jules Kounde, to make Jules Kounde a Chelsea player. The club surely won't sign him if he's going to be a long-term issue. And this is my thing. Chelsea would have known about this. Now, whether or not they want him to have this op before he has his medical, which is another thing, to see how the surgery went, is another thing. And we're going to get into that next, because there is another comment here for on the Jules Kounde saga here. And it's right here. It says Chelsea will push for the Kounde deal as soon as they get their feedback from the minor surgery was a success. The deal will cost around 55 million sterling, and Kounde could be fit in 3 to 4 weeks. That was quoted from Nizar Kinsella himself. Now, a lot of the tier 1-ish are coming out saying minor surgery, not as big as it seems to be, waiting to see how he undergoes after surgery, how quick, whether it's a success. If it's a success, 3 to 4 weeks, and you've got your Kounde, I don't see that being an issue. Everyone panicking about that minor injury should not be panicking. When Chelsea signed Ben Chilwell and they signed Diego Costa, they both came with injuries. This is not a normal. This is not an uncommon thing for players. For players to have, and I think some people just panic straight away because they see hamstring, they see ACL, and they see the money we're paying, and they think, "Shit, we can't do that." Don't do that, Chelsea. But minor injury, pelvis injury is what we're being told. A minor pelvis injury for Jules Kounde, which they believe, if a successful injury is signed off, he will be back within 3 to 4 weeks, which perfectly fits into the pre-season mark. Him being undergoing surgery today or tomorrow, whenever it is, tells me it's being pushed ahead of schedule so that Chelsea can then maybe push forward with this deal. Now, Sevilla is still, from what I know and from what I've heard, Sevilla has still not agreed the fee with Chelsea. Chelsea have put in a 50 million bid for Jules Kounde. I believe that Sevilla want a bit more than that, from what we understand at the moment. Doesn't mean Chelsea are not going to do that. What Chelsea may be doing as we speak at the moment is giving Jules Kounde that moment to undergo his surgery, which is what we're doing at the moment, because Chelsea want to make sure that's successful. And once that's been done, then I'm pretty sure that you'll see that Jules Kounde, if he's not the first player through the door, then potentially you might see that he is the second. I'd expect at least a second player through the door as well. Chelsea were aware of Jules Kounde's physical condition. There you go, from Cy Phillips. And the player is expected to be back in training within a few weeks as the surgery is minor. However, it could lower the transfer fee. Now, this is it, right? Because Chelsea now have the whole thing of going back to Seville and trying to get him a lot less. Even if the surgery is a successful, successful surgery, Chelsea will have it in the back of their minds that they're buying a player that Sevilla want full value for, but a fit full value player. Now, Chelsea can now use this to their advantage to say, well, hang on, he's been injured for a couple months. You haven't allowed him, by the looks of it, to go and have these top players with you guys. He's now leaving you guys. You're selling to us for full value, or the value that you'd want for him. Well, we've not accepted what we've given you. On top of that, he's now having to have this op, which has been niggling him for the last couple of months. We feel that, we should be getting a bit less than what you guys feel that you should want. And 50 million is what we've been told Chelsea have put in. I think Sevilla probably want close to 60, personally, for him. I feel Chelsea are probably using that to their advantage to push Sevilla to accept. And maybe waiting for this surgery to be signed off, confirmed it's a success, is maybe where we're going with this at the moment. Monitoring FC. Yeah, but you know what it is. It's Chelsea for you, isn't it? It's how we roll. What is Boogeyman saying? Is Boogeyman Gem, why are you acting like Fides is reliable? He is Nathaniel, bro. Get on with what you're doing with your life, bro. Stop trying to troll people and be a headache and do what you want. You're not a source. You're not a journalist. Stop trying to be one or act like you're one as well. Go and do what you're doing. Pies is doing what he's doing. Everyone else is doing what they're doing. Is what it is. Whether you believe him or not is down to you, my man. So just move forward. Let's get this to 100 likes, guys. Where are we on at the moment? 77 likes. There's over 200 people here, guys. Let's get this over 100 likes. We should easily be on that now. We are opening up the lines very soon as well. But let's see what people are saying. Dirty Business Spies feel that they wanted over his buyout clause knowing he had this injury. Exactly. And that's my point, Texas Blue. Chelsea are not going to be forced into doing or making a decision when potentially they could maybe get him for a lot cheaper based upon the fact that they didn't allow him to have his op when he was with them. But now he's going to Chelsea potentially. They want full value for him whilst he's still having this op. Now, Chelsea are going to try and push for what they want and probably try and get him a little bit less. And I don't blame him for that, personally. Monitoring FC is what we got here as well. Big up to Andre in house. We are the only Big Six club who hasn't signed a single player. That isn't true. That isn't true. Who have Man United signed? Who have Man United signed? Who have Arsenal signed? Can anyone tell me? That's not true. You guys arguing in a chat with each other. What's going on? What are you saying, Boogeyman? Why are you triggering people in the chat? I need to move forward actually from this. But anyway, there we go. The other little bit of news on Jules Kounde from Simon Phillips, guys, is this comment here as well. Which basically says Chelsea are still on course to sign Jules Kounde, despite alarming comments with the France national team. Both Chelsea and Sevilla were aware of the situation. There you go. It kind of answers my question again. And this is why, if you know me and you know me long enough, I always take a step back when I read the news. It's like we did yesterday, the news that we read yesterday in regards to injuries and undergoing surgeries and whatever else. I always wait to see what the backrift of it is after, because even though it can be painted as, oh my god, he's got to have surgery, hamstring, that don't make any sense then when you say that he's had it for a couple of months but he's been playing most games. That just tells me that it was some minor injury, something that's maybe niggling him, and that he probably just needs to have an op so that it doesn't get any worse. And that's just common sense. Like, I'm not a doctor, but when you put two and two together, it kind of makes sense. And the fact that Chelsea want him and have wanted him for long tells me that they should be aware of this. And Sevilla would have would have already known about his injury anyway. So maybe this whole Jules Kounde saga being dragged out a little bit longer is because of this scenario, and maybe because Chelsea feel that they can make, that they can save a lot more on him. So we have to see what happens at a later stage as well. Let's get this to 100 likes, people. Let's do that. Big up to Lee Bell in the house as well with his picture of Rams. Nice to see you. Over 200 of you guys here. Big up to every single one of you guys. There you go. There's some news on Jules Kounde, where we stand as we are at the moment. A little bit of news on the other defenders. Seems like Chelsea are leading the way in terms of the potential of the option of signing Matthias de Ligt. Chelsea are leading a squad of suitors for Juventus de Ligt, as Real Madrid, Man City and PSG hold interest in the Dutchman. Now, this is another player that is young, quality. You get Jules Kounde and de Ligt in a summer window. That's a good window. But how much is de Ligt going to cost the club? And he would be a marquee signing. He would definitely be a marquee signing. But wages, value, Juventus are not going to sell him for cheap. There was talks around 110 million euros, I believe, for Matthias de Ligt originally. How true this is, I mean, I don't, Sports Witness and Core Sports, fair enough, Italian articles, sources that have obviously announced this as well. Chelsea and Matthias de Ligt thing has grown in the last couple of weeks. It seems like it's picked up a bit. Same with the Koulibaly thing. I only see Chelsea picking up one either or, unless they pull out of the Jules Kounde scenario and they don't sign Jules Kounde, which again, I just don't see happening. I don't see Chelsea not signing Jules Kounde. So let's see what happens with de Ligt. Would you guys in the chat want de Ligt? That's the big question. Would you guys be interested in de Ligt at Chelsea as well? Swap Jorginho and 60 million for de Ligt is what Mo says. Oh, they do want Jorginho, supposedly. But Chelsea can get rid of Jorginho, providing that they're going to strengthen the midfield. That's the issue at the moment, Mo. Are they going to do that? Koulibaly ball over the top to Timo Werner is what Jazzabee's saying. I want de Ligt to the club, Gem. Would be a great signing for us, I believe. Yeah, potentially in the back three. Could also play in the back four as well. Makes sense. Again, my biggest thing, Lee, is just budget. How much is it going to cost us to get him? 110 million euros is just under 100 million, under 100 million sterling. That's a lot of money for a player, a good player. But again, it goes back to the whole thing of being interested FC. Nothing really solid or legit into what we're going to do or how we're going to do it. Now, we're going to jump onto Dembele real quickly, and then we're going to open up the lines and get you guys involved. Ousmane Dembele's representatives, Moussa Sissoko, is reportedly in very advanced talks with Chelsea over the negotiations of Dembele. How close are we to signing him? Well, we've got a little article here in regards to Dembele. And when we read into this article from Cy Phillips themselves, it says, over the last few days and weeks, we have been seeing multiple reports encouraging us that we might be soon seeing Thomas Tuchel being handed one of the main transfer targets that he wanted this summer. This appears to be a real growing confidence that Chelsea could land the signing of Dembele this summer when he becomes a free agent at the end of this month. Now, Tuchel worked with Dembele at Dortmund, which we already know about. As the days go on, the more we are reading about this deal potentially becoming a reality, and yesterday was no different. Catalan publication Diario Sport had this latest based on the latest based on their information, and they claim that Chelsea are in very advanced negotiations to sign him. The Blues are deep in talks with players agent Moussa Sissoko, according to the reports, and the deal looks set to go ahead. And then there's a comment here saying Ousmane Dembele's representative Moussa Sissoko is very advanced negotiations via Sport as well. Now, it does look like look like a deal that could potentially be done. I'm not going to sit here and say 80, 100%. We know what Chelsea are like. It seems that Dembele may want Chelsea. Sorry, I was just reading something. It seems like he wants Chelsea. It seems like Thomas Tuchel wants him. It seems obviously like Barcelona are not going to give him that option. And all arrows point to Chelsea because there isn't really any other interest. PSG were a club that looks like they could potentially be interested. Not so much now with the fact that Pochettino and Leonardo are moving out. The new boards of directors that are coming in are supposedly interested in Campos more than Dembele. Things can change last minute, but then it goes to the answer again of Chelsea having to be on point, aggressive, get it done. Don't allow other big European clubs the option to listen or get the players here. Get it done. Don't waste time. I know he's still a Barcelona player to the end of this season. That's fine. I get that. But we could still make an announcement. We could still make some sort of confirmation or an agreement between the club, Chelsea, and the player that he is coming to Chelsea. Have that certification in place so that he signs. Get him to sign whatever he needs to sign for now. And then moving on to the end of this month, put the announcement in place and make Dembele a Chelsea player. He could be announced before Jules Kounde at this rate, just purely because of the undergoing surgery that Jules Kounde faces at the moment. But I do expect him to be a Chelsea player. There's been too much being built around both these players, Kounde and Dembele. These are two players that we've been linked with and it hasn't died. And it just goes on and it goes on and it goes on. And eventually you just feel, unless someone comes knocking on the door and last minute drags the player aside and offers him some crazy wage, you do feel that it's all arrows are pointing at Chelsea and two players that I do want at Chelsea, Kounde and Dembele. So get it done, get it out of the way. And then use the time that we have left with whatever budget we have left to not only get rid of the deadwood, but look at other areas of where we need to strengthen. Go and find players for left wing back, right wing back. Go and find another defender to support Silva and Kounde and Chalobah. Go and sort out the forward line because Lukaku doesn't want to be at Chelsea. There's enough that needs to be done, until the 30, exactly. So yeah, I hear that, but still, there could be some more sort of certainty when it comes to the Dembele scenario. And I'm expecting something this week. I'm being honest with you guys. I'm expecting Chelsea to at least give us something in terms of players this week. I am going to open up the lines, but I just quickly want to tag on to this Romelu Lukaku stuff. You know what I'm like when it comes to Romelu Lukaku. This is what we're being up to date with at the moment. Most recent update is that Romelu Lukaku will fly to London to free himself from Chelsea. It's even me. With his priority to return to Inter Milan, he will devote himself to this summer goal to return to Inter. Then, when he flies back to Chelsea, take his stuff, drop it outside the front door, lock the door, and just let him stay in Italy. I am done with this guy. I'm so done with this guy. Chelsea's 25 million loan fee request is far from Inter's availability, but the Serie A side now understand that they must pay for the loan move. I feel from what Dean Jones said yesterday, actually, I was listening to the Football Terrace, big up to Terry at the Football Terrace as well. I feel that this move is more on Romelu Lukaku wanting to be Inter Milan than Inter Milan wanting Romelu Lukaku. I don't think Inter Milan are going to be forced into spending stupid money to bring him back. And this is why I feel that he's going to go to Chelsea and try and force himself out the door. You know, or maybe get him to negotiate for less. What he doesn't forget, the prick, and I call him a prick because I just don't like him anymore, is that he's the one that came to this football club, a season ago, signed for 100 million, took 300 and plus K a week wages off of us, right? Made the club commit to him, showed, we spending that money was a commitment shown to him to say, look, we trust you, we back you, now go and do what you can. And what did he do? He just shat on us. He might as well just took his fat ass out on the pitch and just pooed on the pitch. That is literally what he did. And then you find out he's been talking to the coaches and players of Inter Milan back in December, when he was injured, through the period he was injured with Timo Werner. Then he does the documentary before that. It's like, you're forcing yourself out the door. But you're the one that made the club commit to you in the first place. You're the one that the club, put their money on the line to show commitment to you, for you to show us that you are this man that's worth 100 million, that's in the levels of Benzema and Lewandowski. He hasn't done any of that. All he's done is just deceived us. He's the biggest deceiver of football. He is the biggest deceiver of football. If I can find my tweet, where is it? I'm going to show you guys, actually. Look at, this is what I said. There's a comment on Romelu Lukaku. I'm done to this point. I don't care if he wants to force himself and he comes back. I found it here. Get rid of him. Genuinely get rid of him. Like, we are wasting time with him. He's zapping our wages. He doesn't want to be here. He's forcing himself back. Inter Milan don't want to pay what Chelsea want. He's coming back to force Chelsea into playing it. But this is it. This is his name. Flopaku. That's what I call him now. He's not Romelu Lukaku anymore. He's Romelu Flopaku. That's his name for me. He has been in the most expensive signings of this Premier League history twice. 90 million when he left Everton to go Man United, and we know how all that went. And then another 7.5 million on top of that, at 97.5 million to Chelsea in one season. Just buried us. So in theory, Chelsea and Man United have spent nearly £187.5 million on Romelu Lukaku for him in the Premier League. And the truth is this. This is the real truth behind it before we open up the lines. He's not good enough for the Premier League. The reason he looks so good in Italy is because it is a lot slower. I don't care what people say about that Italian Serie A league. That league is nowhere near the same level as the Premier League. It is two different things, chalk and cheese. The press, the energy, the time, everything. You will really put to the test when you play in the Premier League, because it's a completely different type of game. You're always playing teams that are sort of also close to the same level as each other, below the top six. And they're all decent teams with decent players. And each team has a different style, a different idea, a different way of approaching the games. In Italy, they're all just slow. I'm sorry. The league is complete. I've watched it. I have watched a couple of games. I did. It is a slow league. It is not the same. And the truth behind Lukaku just not working, Flopaku not working at Chelsea, is down to the fact that he does not suit this league. This league is too good for him. That's the truth. The link's in the chat, guys, if you want to come in. The link is in the chat. This league is too good for Romelu Lukaku. He hasn't got the technical ability. He isn't anywhere near the level of an elite striker. He is not, for me, he isn't good enough for it. Not good. Well, he can play here. He can go and play for like he did for West Brom or Everton, but he can't play in the top six. He just can't. He can only play one style of football, and that style of football is counter football, and that's why it works so well at Everton, and that's why it works so well at West Brom, and that's why it works so well at Inter Milan, because at Inter Milan under Conte, they're the same. They play football. Anything to do counter suits this guy. This guy is not a Premier League player for me. I'm telling you. What are you saying, Rodrigo?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Yeah,
Good.
I'm a bit today. It's not a good day, man. I feel like I feel like we're having one of those seasons. We've had them so many times. There's something in me that tells me we're probably gonna sign just one player.
Well, apparently, just breaking now, actually, Pies has just popped out a comment from Fabrizio Romano, who's live on the podcast. Here we go, saying Chelsea are really exploring Raheem Sterling. They are waiting to understand what the potential price tag could be for him. So,
we are the explorers. We are the monitors. We are the interesting FC. We don't seem to be moving. I hope we do, because my worry is that Spurs. I'm not worried about City and Liverpool are quite far. I think Spurs are catching up with us, and we have to have to move quickly, because I hear people want to sell. They want to sell Jorginho. They want to sell Kante. They want to sell.
Can't do that.
You can't do that.
We can't fucking buy players. Why are we getting rid of so many players?
We don't have to. Our squad as it is now is worse than it was at the start of last season. We have to reinforce first. So they're getting rid of some players. I understand the Alonso, the Barkley, the Sarr. Yeah, they have to go. Like the players like a Kovacic, like a Jorginho, like a Kante, the Kovacic. What they give you at least a top 4 finish. Obviously, we need to add on top of that to push for the league title. Right now, if we get rid of them, are we even gonna finish in the top 4?
The problem is, bro, and this is the real big problem with it all, is that we're in a position, and you look at the end of last season, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that we were moaning about as Chelsea fans was that we don't have squad depth, or it's been found out. Yeah, we just didn't have enough personnel in certain positions, wing backs, central midfield, defense, whatever. Right? It just didn't work for us. Yeah. Now we're going into the summer window, knowing that we struggled last season due to injuries and having the quality of squad depth, to now selling more players.
Yeah, the little quality that we have.
And get rid of the lack of quality we had anyway, to then having to, in my eyes, double up on the quality that we're going to need to do. So basically, what I'm saying is, we are going to need a ton of players. We're getting rid of Jorginhos and Kantes, along with some of the players that we already know that have already left. You're only making it even weaker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
we really need to have a solid window, and
yeah.
I just don't. I am willing to play the long-term wait here, providing that my football club is moving in silence, providing that we are getting things done in the background. Because Thomas Tuchel not going on a summer holiday tells me that he's here to get things done. If we don't get things done and he hasn't gone on holiday, what's he been doing? He won't want to go into this next season with a half decent team. He's going to want to strengthen as much as he can with whatever budget he's given from Bowley.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense that if Thomas Tuchel's not going on holiday, why would he be sitting on his ass and not doing anything?
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't wrap it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've got to wait. I can't just be panicking 1 week in.
I think I give it till the 15th of July when preseason kickoff. We need to see some people coming in. I'm not excited about signing that young goalkeeper. I mean, he's going straight to the development team or on loan, so it's not really a signing. Or renewing Bill Gilmour contract. I mean, so what? I'm thinking letting Bissouma go. That I can't believe this club was even looking at him. Like, what? Do we have football people in that board or what? Bissouma was there for 25 million euros. That's less than 25 million pounds. That's around 23 million pounds, something like that. So he's going to Tottenham for a very, very cheap price. And we were here worrying about, he has this case, he has this start. But what? So what? He's going to Spurs now. And he's going to... Spurs are very close to us. Because where we were better than Spurs was in midfield. But now they've reinforced there. They have a better attack than us. They have not the midfield on paper is at least as good as us. with Bissouma and Højbjerg, you can see they can do things. And then in defense, maybe we lost Rudiger. So actually, on paper, I don't know. I don't see. We have a very tough, maybe mentality wise. I don't know. I don't think we are as good as competing with Liverpool and City. And I feel like Spurs is a team that we need to.
Diego, 1 second as well. We just had 37 seconds ago. This is breaking from this is not new to us here, but Alonso has told Chelsea he wants to leave. Is what Fabrizio Romano said. He wants to leave. So there's no way in hell that Alonso will be a Chelsea player next season. By the looks of it, he wants to go Barcelona. Still waiting to agree a price with Barcelona for him, but the personal agreement between the player and Barcelona is done. It's just now sorting out the fee, which is what they're waiting on. So this is more news on top of news of Raheem Sterling that Alonso has told Chelsea he also wants to leave. Probably why Chelsea are now looking to strengthen that area as well. But there you go, guys. A bit of Alonso. Boogeyman, what you saying?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. How you doing?
Oh, okay, thanks. I'm good. I'm good. For me, the way I see the entire windows is we need to reinforce our defense and our midfield. So far, my main target when it comes to the midfielder is Declan Rice. He's not taken yet. So I'm still hoping that that's the reason why we're not doing a bigger major or any major business right now. Because for me, the attack, the only thing I want is Lukaku has to go. And at the defense, like someone already said, if Kounde is coming, and then we manage to get the Italian for the Senegalese from Napoli,
Koulibaly. Yeah.
If we get Koulibaly in and Kounde, I think we will be ready to go, because at the end of the day, our midfielder was the problem, was the biggest issue for us going down in the November, December when we had COVID and Kante injuries. The midfielder was the biggest issue. So I'm not too worried about if we sign Dembele or if we don't sign Raheem Sterling. We're pretty good when it comes to our front line. We're just hoping that this season where all our front line will start scoring.
Is it crackly, Boogeyman? You got a bit crackly. I don't know why. You're going a bit crackly. Okay, I don't know what.
Is it better now?
That's it. Yeah, it was going a bit crackly. Couldn't hear you. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Look, like I said, I'm still hoping that because of all the talent we have up front, I think it's just a matter of time for those kids to start finding the net. When they got their chemistry, we should be really good up front. Lukaku has to go, that's for sure. But I think the key is the midfielder. And me, if how do you say it? If Declan Rice is still available with West Ham, I'm okay. I'm not going to panic. But as soon as Declan Rice is going to Manchester City or Manchester United, then I will not have any trust in Boli and whatever he's trying to do. But now is the time to move all the dead wood away. I mean, I think Alonso wants to leave.
Yeah.
Spilicueta want to leave. Now it is urgent. If Tuchel is sitting in office or whatever he's doing, not taking vacation, the major thing is he needs to move people that we don't need and sell them, whether for free or whatever is happening. Those they all have to go, so we can properly invest and bring the defender and defensive midfield in it. That is my view.
Are you not worried about spending over 100 million for Declan Rice and potentially ruining your budget, which Bowley is supposedly given, which is 200 million? Like, do you not feel that there's more that we should be a lot more smarter with the money that we're given to try and cover more areas than just getting one central midfielder? Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Yeah, the easy answer to your question is I'm not worried at all, because my point is that I'm not planning of winning the league next season. Manchester City and Liverpool are going to battle the league next season. So this season, I want us to start building, and Declan Rice should be part of that building block. If that kid comes to London and we have a strong defensive midfielder, the next windows we can bring someone also in. We need. You could say he is building. He is rebuilding. He's now getting ready to compete next season. So if we all accept the fact that we are rebuilding, then let's invest in a young, talented kid. And Declan Rice is one of those. So I think I'm not worried at all. We can spend 100 million on Declan Rice, bringing in as long as his wage fit our wage structure. Because the next major thing is we need to renew the Mount Rice, Havertz, and who else? I don't know who else, but all those talented kids we have, we need to renew them. And if the wage structure of Declan Rice fit into it, I don't care how much we pay to bring it in. That's my answer to that question.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We have Declared there as well. And Ram. Declared, how you doing? You all right?
Pick up everyone. How's everyone doing? I haven't seen
all right, mate.
man for a while too. Glad he's here.
Yeah.
Big-
Declared. What are your thoughts on where we're at with all the Chelsea news as we understand? Obviously, Kounde had the surgery yesterday, or today, should we say? Some people were worried about him. It seems to be a minor injury. Obviously, there's talks recently about, well, Pies has just said here that Sterling is still an interest for Chelsea. Alonso's announced that he wants to leave the club as well, which has come out 3 minutes ago. How do you feel about like the way Chelsea are moving at the moment? Are you worried as a Chelsea fan that maybe we're not getting things done quickly, or how do you feel? Do you think, are you waiting sort of long term? What's your thoughts?
I'm not worried. I can understand people's concerns because it's more about other clubs actually buying than us. It's still very early in the transfer window, and I think we're actually after. I think we're going to have a big summer, so I think we're going to get a lot of players in. This probably just needs. Maybe people don't want to hear about just a little patience to see how we go. My concern will come if we're close to the deadline and we haven't made signings. That's when I'm concerned that we're leaving it late again. But with the Kounde stuff, if I wouldn't be worried about the Kounde surgery if it was a big deal, if it was a serious injury, he would have done it straight away. This is just something like a cleanup surgery. I've had them in the past. I've done them in the past as well. You can play and you can just leave it. It's just more of an annoying thing. And if he was able to play, that's on that. But I'm happy about Alonso leaving too. I think everyone's happy about he wanted to go, and we can get a replacement. But I mean, I can understand everyone's concerns because we need a lot of players. And we haven't signed any. I mean, the closest person we're signing is that goalkeeper from MLS. So I'd like to hear, I'd like to hear a signing soon. Anyway, just to put everyone at ease. But I think we're gonna go hard this season. So it's gonna be. I'm actually excited about it more than worried. And Jem's still not here, but yeah.
The quality of the
the American carriers. American carriers. Oh my God! Have you not seen that?
Or the future Tim Howard, you know?
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, that was just one chance. Hey, that was just one injury.
Another freaking American that gets to sit on the bench. Come on.
I don't think he's coming into the team, Matt. I don't think he's coming into the team. I think he's going to be loaned straight away or stay where he is.
I think it's such a joke that we don't buy Jules Kounde and we're having to work on a deal for American. Doesn't that say a lot about this ownership, man? It's absolutely disgraceful.
Matt, you got to understand. I mean, you got to understand that you can't. It's not that you're able to only work on one deal at a time. They got multiple deals going. We was trying to sell multiple players. I think they got a lot going on at the same time. Multiple deals that we had from last season as well. I'm pretty sure they're picking up those traces. It's a new ownership. It's a new. You know how we criticized Marina and so on for penny pinching. Maybe there's a new policy because for me, Todd Bowley. This is crucial, and this is what everyone should remember. This is Todd Bowley's first season. He wants a good season, right? He also wants to win the fans over, right? And so he's gonna do. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a statement signing. It could be a statement, and a statement could be a big transfer window with many players, and it's more what the players probably want. You know what I mean? So this could even mean the difference of Lukaku leaving or not, how big they take a loss on that. It could mean selling a whole bunch of players, bringing players that some people to get excited about, like Dembele. Do you know what I mean?
I get
There is going to be a statement.
Right?
Yeah.
I get that, right? But here's the thing, right? He's already to me, right? When we had all this, right? And as much as Todd Boehly, in my humble opinion, was the best of a bad bunch, right? And that's why I wanted him over the likes of Martin Broughton and Stephen Pagliuca, right? So I'm going to put that out there straight away, right? Secondly, in my opinion, right, we got told, right, that this team, this borderline team, was complete, right? So he had an answer to everything. Then why am I hearing that he's after a director of football and he's after a CEO, right? That doesn't say to me that's a complete setup. That sounds like to me that he's taking his, that they haven't even sorted it, right? So at the end of the day, for me, that I don't care about CEOs. I don't care about a director of football. You do that as and when. At the end of the day, we need a defender. We've just lost Rudiger. We've just lost Christensen. Right? These are spaces that need to be filled. And unless the CEO and the director of football can play centre back, I'm not interested. So
yeah, but you got to understand, Matt, and I've made this point before, that Todd Boehly doesn't know what he's doing in football, or doesn't know anything about football. So what he's good at is finding the right people to do it for him, which he's done at his other American clubs, and that's what he has to do. If I'm waiting for Todd Boehly to bring this data-centric system and value buys when someone that doesn't know about football and never been in the business, then I'm not waiting on that. I'd rather have the CEO and all that, what you said, but that comes later. That seems a bit too late to do at the moment, and to wait for that and for them to get our transfers ready. We just have to move with the people we have at the moment.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you're talking anyway. How you doing, mate? You right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I mean, I'm just shocked about hearing people saying that they want to spend at least 3/4 of the budget on Declan Rice. I'm going, what the hell is this rubbish? Why are we buying Declan Rice for when I can think of 3 defensive midfield alternatives that are 10 times that have got more experience and are cheaper?
Matt,
What if Rice is cheaper, Matt?
Name them, mate.
100.
Name those.
Yeah, but that's if. But that's if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. If buts, maybe. David.
Hold on. So
David.
So everyone's argued. Look, hold on. Everyone argued against his price. It's been 2 years of people arguing against Rice, and not only his ability, and not about his age and all the positivities that he does and brings. Nothing about his gameplay, right? Everyone just argues the price. The same people did the same thing for Chilwell as well, thinking that he was going to be 80 mil and he's too much and he was going to ruin this and that, right? And all of a sudden, every report, right? So if you go from the reports, Rice is either going to be 75 mil or 150 mil, right? And it's very likely that he's probably going to be around the 75 or more. He actually wants to move. He's probably going to push for the move. His contract's slowly going down and he wants to move. He's not signing an extension, right? So West Ham might want to cash in on him. So he's not going to be over 100, right? But take away all that, I haven't seen anyone make a proper argument why Rice doesn't fit the system or he's bad or anything like that.
Exactly.
It's not his style of play though. That's not what I'm having a go at. What I'm seeing is that even if they want him for 100 million, that's still at least a large chunk of that's a half of your budget gone. When we could sign
So what if
he's not 100 mil?
I don't think it matters whether Declan Rice is 100, 120, or 200
It does.
million.
It does matter. It does matter.
It does
very
matter.
I don't think so.
It does matter.
Why would that matter?
Hold on, right.
Will he improve our team?
Hold on. Dexter's in the chat now. Hold on. Dexter's in the chat saying, wait, name 3 defensive midfielders. Okay, I can give you 3. Right? Casemiro's on the sale at the moment. So there's 1. Ruben Neves, there's a 2nd, right? Milinkovic-Savic, there's a 3rd, right? There are 3 very, very, very good players, right? Which we could actually get, right? And instead, all we're doing is we're concentrating on one entity that left Cobham how many years ago, right? And it didn't. And don't forget, this is the same coach that got rid of him as they got rid of a trialist called, what was his name? Kylian Mbappe, right? So this is the same, we're going backwards rather than going forwards, right? And at the end of the day, right, I appreciate that everybody said, oh, yeah, we'll bring such and such back. Yeah, great. But look at Lukaku, right? Lukaku didn't work out. I'm not saying Declan Rice is exactly the same as Lukaku. I'm not saying that. But sometimes it's just best to move on and look for a better option that will suit the system better. Now, Tuchel wants him, fair enough. But I don't think he's worth 100 million. And I don't think he's worth 100 million.
What do you think he's worth then, Matt? Since everyone's so fixated on money.
Can I say
Matty,
something?
the last two midfielders you said, they're not DMs.
Wait, is that Rams?
That is me.
Hey, welcome back, Rams, on your hiatus of in your basement.
It's not even basement.
I'm glad you came up for some air. Right, you missed the big Liverpool parade as well, and you've been missing a lot of the show.
Hey, Jem didn't invite me to anything. Yeah, you go speak to him.
No, don't blame Jem. Jem said he was very open.
Trophy transfer shows.
My biggest issue is the only thing we should be care about it, we should be worrying about it, is Declan Rice going to improve Chelsea midfielder. Yeah, we need him. We need his tackling. We need his physical presence in that midfielder. So for me,
but you're all missing one big thing still. I have no problem with Declan Rice as the player. There's no issue with what he brings and whatever else. I actually think he's quite a good player. I just don't feel he's worth 150 or even 100 million personally.
That's my point.
So Jim, why isn't everyone arguing that? Why isn't everyone saying I like this, that, and then but he costs too much? But everyone, the only argument I hear is just his price.
That was my point, though, Declared. That was my point. That's my point.
The only thing should be matter is improving the team, right?
1 second, Bergant. If Chelsea go and buy Declan Rice for 130 million, all right? Forgetting that we've been given a 200 million budget from Todd Bowley, let's say that is true and that's what Tuchel's been given. What that again shows me, from what I've seen to this point, is that for me, it's a panic buy. Because to spend that kind of money on a central DM without thinking that you still need 2 defenders, you may need to sort out your forward line because Lukaku's leaving as well. You're going to have to bring someone in. You're talking about sorting out a wing-back area as well. What I'm trying to get at is we could be a lot more smarter with the way that we move through this window. And at the moment, when you look at the players that are available in this summer window, I don't think there's been, when you look at the quality of players, I don't think there's been a summer window where you've had that much quality available for as less of a price as you would say 2-3 seasons ago. For players that like Bissouma, for example, 25 million is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry for him. Even though he may play for Brighton, he's a very good player. Do you know what I mean?
Like Frankie.
But he's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone first, but I'm just giving an example. Good. What I'm saying is there's better deals to be done out there. I'm not saying I don't want Declan Rice at Chelsea, but I just think we need to be smart with it. That's all.
What about Frankie?
But I think Bissouma and Rice are different players. But having said that, right, I don't think he'll be 100, but I think he'll be close to 70, 80. And what you're paying for as well is a 23-year-old, not a Bissouma 25 plus, and other players that are a higher age that has been suggested. You're paying for a 23-year-old that is actually proving it in the EPL, right? That for me, even outside of football, his life is surrounded by Chelsea. So I think Rice is someone that wants to, if he came, he would want to retire there. I think he'd adjust well. And he's a captain at 23 years old. I think there's other elements that he brings. You're paying for potential as well. That's the premium.
We didn't want to give Haaland 150 million, right? Why the hell are we going to give Declan Rice 150 million?
Yeah, but
I don't think we are.
Don't we learn from
no one wanted to give Chilwell 80 mil, but we ended up giving him 50.
Don't we learn from
Why don't we give Rice... What if Rice's price is cheaper? And
exactly.
But he's going to push it as well. He might put a transfer request, right? West Ham don't want to keep a disgruntled player. His contract's ticking down. I don't think we're going to give Rice 100 mil plus. I think Rice is going to be 70, 80.
Bro,
it could be even cheaper.
They are not in a position, when you look at his contract length and what's left, they are not going to be pushed into a position to sell him any less than 100 million. That's just facts. He's their best player.
In their hands.
It's not fact if he puts a transfer request.
I just think Jim,
we're not paying a release clause or anything here.
I think Jim and Matty are focusing too much on the transfer fees. Me, I just want to improve the team.
Squad. I'm talking on the actual overall squad.
But
you're talking about improving one area. I'm talking about improving Four
But
areas.
whatever Spence we did this summer will never bring us to challenge for the title. We already know that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why-
Boogeyman, hold on, Jem.
I'm not even
Hold
thinking
on, Jem.
about that.
Right.
I'm thinking
Okay,
about the
Jem.
depth.
All right, then. All right, Boogeyman.
Right.
Right. Okay. Right. You've just said right then and there. It doesn't matter about transfer budget, right? So if we spend 100, so if West Ham get their way and they want 125 mil, right? We've got
Yeah.
centre backs that we need to buy in. We need a wing back when Marcus Alonso is. Please tell me where this apple of fruit of plenties are, where we're going to sign all these players for these desired centre backs.
So
So how'd you come up with 200 mil?
We tried that before. You know where it led us? To buy a lot of average players that turned out to be deadwood. Right now, we go with the quality one that are young. Declan Rice, 100 million, 120 million. We buy him. He came to Chelsea. When it comes to the defender, we can go with the Koulibaly, those are free transfer, just for one or two short-term use. And then next season, we invest another 70, 80 in one good defender. The third season, we invest another 70, 80 to one good defender. Slowly, we will rebuild a team that can last 10 years. Right now, you all scared of the transfer fees, and you're trying to force Chelsea to get average player. Let
me ask you this.
It's not average. It's not average. It's buying smarter.
Matty, 1 second. Let me ask Boogeyman this, right? You've got the option to sign Declan Rice this season for 120 million. Let's say it's between 100 and 120 million. Yeah, they're going to let him go, right? Or you can sign him next season for 70 million. But you said we ain't going to challenge this season, so think of it like that. What are you going to do?
Listen, what I learned I'm not even sure that I will get Declan Rice next season for 70. That's my issue. Right now, I know he's available for 120, and I know his quality will improve this team for the next 10 years. I'm willing to put that money on and bring it in, and next season we go for another target. It's all about quality for the long term. For me, I don't care about Deadwood anymore. I don't want them. I'd rather have our academy promoted as Deadwood, and we only have good top quality. That's all I care about at this point. Because what happened with Haaland, we got scared of the money, and right now, what are we? We all biting our own tongue. Why didn't we just get Haaland last season? Or why don't we have a pre-contract with him last season? Not worry about the money and bring it in this season. That's the mistake. So we all keep saying we cannot. Yo, man, thanks, man. We all keep saying money, saving money. And what does that lead us to? Average player, Deadwood.
What I'm saying, what Bex is saying there. Where is the budget for the rest of the squad? That's what I'm
I think
that was my question.
I think the most important thing is finding the right value of players, man. Like, you need to find the right players that exceed their value, their transfer value. And there are so many options out there. I'm not saying you don't need to go and out Declan Rice. Maybe you can go and get him next year or the year after. Who knows?
But the thing is, though, Ram, right? All I'm hearing is a lot of waffle, and all you just need is some eggs to go with it, right? All I'm hearing is that I want a genuine answer of why we should spend 125 million, which is apparently the thing that David Moyes and West Ham have asked for, and why do we have to, if we're going to spend over the odds like we did with Kepa, like we did with Lukaku, like we did with anybody else, right? The only one that's actually done anything decent with a large transfer value was Kai Havertz, right? And even he's still trying to live up to that expectation right now, right? So I think Kai Havertz is a great player. He's one of our best, right? But at the end of the day, that's only one, and we've spent a large sum of money on average talent as of late, right? And we're spending 125 million. We're not learning from this lesson. At the end of the day, we spent 60 odd million on Christian Pulisic. He's average. I'm sorry. But when you look at Luis Diaz, right? Luis Diaz has done far more in lesser space, right? And cost a lot less, right? Liverpool have done brilliant business, right? And I'm not saying it because Rams is here, and I'm not saying it for anything else. I am saying that we need to do a better job scouting, making sure that we can get a better option rather than just spending over the odds on a player which we don't even know if he will settle in and do what better with the squad or what. It's my opinion at the end of the day.
But Matt, what you've drawn is a similarity on big transfers not working out, right? What you're getting is what Boogeyman exactly said, is that he is a longer investment. He's going to last longer.
Yeah, but you get him next year then for a cheaper
get him
value.
next year.
Like, why are you going to rush?
Okay, yeah. Well, what if you can get him cheaper this season? Should we get him cheaper?
We're not going to. West Ham are not going to be forced. Look,
no, but that's not what I asked. I said if we can, should we get him?
Ben Jacobs was on here two shows ago, right? And I asked him the same question. I said to him, Declan Rice. I went, can Chelsea get it done? Yeah. And the biggest thing he said was the issue this summer is that West Ham will not be forced into selling him for 78 odd million. That it's going to be in around 120 to 150 million if he even thinks of leaving his football club. Why? Because he's still got 3 years on his contract at the moment. It makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. There's no logical sense going to get a player for that much money. If you've been given a 200 million budget, you go and buy Jules Kounde for 50 million. You've already done 200 million there in itself. What are you left with? You still got to get another defender. Lukaku wants to fuck off. You still got to sort out the forward line. There's loads of shit that we've still got to do.
This is what I was
renewing. Like, there's a lot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're arguing on numbers that we don't know. We don't even know if we got 200 mil or not.
But that's
if we sell players as well. That's if we sell players as well. You don't forget, we saw another article before where he said you might get 200 million, but that might also be subject to player sales, right? And that was a report that came out not so long ago. So personally, I would rather us spend wisely and get better, like I don't know, Liverpool did and Manchester City have done, rather than us spend obscene amount of money on one player and just hope he succeeds.
Liverpool paid nearly 100 mil on a potential player. If you want to compare Liverpool, I'd rather, instead of spreading out all these budget buys and older players in some positions, I'd rather go for some key players if we can make it happen. And we've got a lot of youth that can cover some other positions and do the same next season.
I'm just saying there's no fixed budget. Matt Law says 200 million without sales. Others say with no one. But my point, Pies, is even if it's a 200 million budget, the only way that we are spending more than that, I feel, is by selling players, right? And we need to sell a lot of players. But by doing that, you weaken the depth even more, even though the depth wasn't great last season anyway. So going to spend 130 million on Declan Rice on one player when you're probably going to need maybe 5, potentially 6, depending on who goes out, doesn't make sense to me
at all.
It doesn't work in my head.
If that's true, we got a lot of our budget's massive. I mean, if that's 200 mil without sales, throw the sales in there. If we can sell another 100 mil and we got 300. I know, I get it. We don't even know what number's right. We don't even know if we have 100, 200, or if it's with sales or not, because I don't know how you calculate 200 mil with sales if you haven't sold anything yet. I would like to think that, I'd like to go off what I said before. I think Todd Bowley would like his first season to be a great season. I think he's throwing money to make a statement. I believe that's what he would want to do, or that the consortium want to do in his first season. I mean, imagine we have a really bad season. Who we're going to say? We're going to point our fingers at this ownership and all that too. I think it's going to be exciting. I think we're going to throw a lot of money at a lot of players. I think that budget probably sounds right with sales. If we have something like 300 mil with sales, that's going to be insane. You can buy quite a few big name players and fill up a lot of positions on free transfers, free up the wage bill if we get rid of the right players. We can probably do it right, and we can throw. It's probably smart, even spending big money at right players too. So I would like to see that as well.
All right.
I think we're all getting stressing about how much we really have and how much is going. It could even be 300 mil. You don't know.
We spent 100 million on Romelu Lukaku. Look how that turned out. You know what I mean? Like, for us to feel a little bit shit when we spend stupid money is normal for Chelsea fans. Let's be serious.
Yeah, but Lukaku was a bad buy. He was some guy who, at that age, at 100 mil, was meant to solve a problem that didn't made more problems than solve them, and it was under different ownership as well.
No, can I just say something to Couch? That does not. No, we're not. No, that's the answer, because people keep forgetting. I keep stressing this. We need squad depth. We need quality across many positions. It is not all right. Look, solving the DM area is true. We do need it. I agree. I'm not saying Declan Rice shouldn't come Chelsea. I'm just saying for what they want him for doesn't make sense. Unless we can agree something which works for both. And I'm talking about 60, maybe 70 mil, which I don't see him doing one bit. Then I think we should take our ideas of getting him, unless we manage to get 4 or 5 players for free, get them on decent wages, and we have this big budget left over, and we're like, oh, we can just get Declan Rice for that. There you go.
I think you need to look at the back first, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I've been stressing. I would rather us get Kounde through the door and then start looking to see if we can replace the defensive option. We've also got We've got wing backs to do, right? As much as defensive midfielder is a priority, it's not the biggest priority right now. Defenders are the biggest priority, and then it's the wing back option when eventually when Alonso finally decides to leave, and we need to strengthen from that area. As much as people say that Jorginho might be going out through the door or Kante's on his last legs, that's as maybe. But until we get something in concrete, then don't preempt something that might happen or won't happen.
Matty, we could really be in this shit if Kante does want to go or Jorginho, and then we've only left. We will then be forced into panic buying and making maybe signatures of like Declan Rice. There is other options, don't get me wrong, but we could find ourselves really stuck if we don't address the central midfielder area, or at least sort out the contracts that we currently have outstanding as well. But Winter Surfer, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not buying anyone for 100 million for a future. It's here and now. That's all. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Sorry, man. And all this. I've never seen a fan base twerk for a player so much because he's friends with Mason Mount.
Thank you.
Or that he failed. He actually failed at Cobham. He didn't actually succeed, guys. He failed at Cobham. So calling him like he knows the club or he's got Chelsea around him. I don't care if he's got Chelsea around him. I want someone who can do the business. And for 100 million, I need him to be Makaleli, Essien, and Ballack all rolled into one. For 100 million. And that's just something that's just not going to happen. Whether he comes or he doesn't come, West Ham hold all the cards. It's 2 years plus an extension of a 3rd year if they choose to do so. So essentially, we're looking at 3 years. I would have liked Bissouma, 25 million. You're not telling me that Rice is 3 times the player Bissouma is, because he's not. Okay, 25 million, even 35 million is a steal. Is an absolute steal.
And we want to spend 100 mil on Declan Rice.
Yeah, exactly. So he's telling me he's 3 times the player of Bissouma. He's not 3 times the player of Bissouma. He's a very good player, but I need to. If I'm paying triple figures for someone, they need to be hitting the ground running, and I don't think he will. I fear also that we're going to spend the majority of this summer negotiating with West Ham.
Yeah.
And this is going to bleed into us wasting time. Why aren't we inquiring about Ndidi from Leicester? He can play the DM role. Why isn't he on the list of our DMs? He's far more suited to the Premier League than Sangara. Than this, I don't even know. I've never seen Sangara play, so I can't give an actual opinion of him. But apparently, everyone wants him, but no one's actually seen him play. But Declan Rice is just honestly, if Declan Rice hadn't finished at this club at 14 and wasn't best friends with Mason Mount, the whole half his Chelsea fan base wouldn't be embarrassing himself by twerking for him. He's a good player, but to spend 100 million on him, even if we get player sales, so that's a third or half your budget, is insane. Absolutely, especially since the defence. Well, what defence? We don't have a defence at the moment. It needs about 4 to 5 players alone just to get us through the season, and then you move on to midfield because we've got issues there. We've got issues all over the place at this moment in time. So to waste 100 million on Rice just is not logical to me, and I just don't understand it. And you don't.
They feel that by buying him, this is what I'm understanding from most of the Declan Rice props, is that buying him excels the team. It makes us a better team, makes us more balanced. It allows us to play more of the way that Tuchel wants to play, and he's a long term player, isn't it? Like you buy him, and he's going to be here for like 6-7 years down the line. Do you know what I mean? It's all There's all these things that people feel is great when you think about it. Don't get me wrong. I actually feel bringing Declan Rice in does improve the midfield. I do feel that he has qualities that can work. Do I feel he's the complete article? No. I've watched him at England a number of times. I've watched him at West Ham. I think he's had some very good games. But at the same time, there is still parts to his game that he still needs to improve. And at the same time, you're going to need to have some element of backup for him. And this is why I was stressing that maybe getting someone on a free or cheap, Bobby Kamara or, or someone, do you know what I mean? Bissouma for 25. Like, having that option to provide depth is my biggest thing. When I talk about what I would do in the summer window, it's about how can we strengthen all positions and all departments. It's not how can I get the best player in that position and then that's it. We're all right because we've got him in that position. That means we're going to be a lot better now. It's all going to happen. I think we forget how weak our overall squad is. And that's the big thing for me,
To add, seeing Rice play against Germany the way he did and seeing how much he's worth, he's not worth that much because against Germany, he was against very technical players. He struggled a lot, along with Jude as well. They won. And is that my face?
Yeah, that's you.
That's how much we missed you. You went away. Someone had to, put your picture there so we can think you were here with us.
Bro, you guys are weird. You guys are weird.
We're not weird.
Right after that, she was in a small. I mean, look, I keep saying, I just feel there's more what we could do. That was all. I'm not saying I hate Declan Rice. People think because you don't want someone, you hate him. That's just what's funny about social media. You don't want him, you hate him. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just
it goes the other way. Everyone thinks I'm like some kind of Rice stan. For me, I don't get the hate. I'd like Bissouma as well, right? Even end of the day, I think there's different characteristics to the players as well. Tchouameni I would have been happy with as well, right? I don't believe that if Rice was to happen, that it will happen at 100 mil for someone that actually wants to leave. So that's why I don't. And I didn't like the fact that no one wanted to talk about his playing ability and everyone was just stuck on the price. And I saw the same deja vu with Chilwell as well. And it's hard to have it.
Let's talk about his playing ability. Let's talk about how Musiala cooked him. Let's talk about that.
Why aren't you lot chasing for Musiala? He's a Cobham boy, isn't he?
Nah, come on, buying and not selling him. Come on.
Buying, don't sell, man.
Nah, but he wasn't a Cobham reject. He was actually
he was. But he's not.
He left. He left because he knows he gets game time buying.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. It's not. We're not signing Musiala. With Rice. Rice is a good player, but let's look at our system. Will Rice improve us really for 100 million? When I spend 100 million, I spend on forward players. I spend on players that will bring goals.
Can anyone not just address his price and just talk about a player?
All right,
that's why I came out and defended the guy. Is because everyone just talks about price all the time.
Could I ask something, right? Between Billy Gilmour and Rice, like what does Rice have over him?
Exactly.
Because he could do what Rice do.
Height,
PNP.
Strength and height. Billy Gilmour's weak.
Simple answer. PNP. Pace and power.
Billy Gilmour's weak physically. He's weak physically. He'll get dominated. So that's
get dominated.
He would. He'd get dominated. He got dominated after when we came back.
Remember Norwich. Norwich, he was not good. He was not good at Norwich.
Billy Gilmour will thrive in a free midfield and be the playmaker in there.
Yeah.
Not the DM or the runner. He'd be the other guy. He'd be that guy. In a 2, he needs to go to Munich to get the supplements and build up like Goretzka.
Or to Liverpool.
He's a twiglet.
Or you can go to Liverpool. Have the Hazma Inela.
Nah, more.
So we've got some news here. On Chelsea with Dembele. Dembele is waiting to understand first if Barca's offer will be there last to him because he isn't accepting it. There's nothing agreed with Chelsea, is what Fabrizio Romano said. So there's nothing really agreed with us. He's just waiting to see if Barcelona are going to give him anything more than what he's been offered. So I don't know. Maybe that will make his decision once he knows. So who knows?
I think the problem with a lot of these Barca players is that they want to stay. They don't want to go anywhere. They want to stay and play for Barcelona and be a part of the rebuild.
They should want to get paid first. That's what they should want to be paid.
That's true.
They play pro bono.
PK's owed like 50 million euros.
I don't get why we don't test the all the young players. They got great young
I
players.
don't know why
why don't we just throw money at them?
That's the thing. They want to stay. A lot of them want to stay.
Anyone is speaking to Frank Kessie at the moment, going, dude, you're not getting paid at this time. You're literally doing nothing. We can actually pay you. I don't know why people aren't going to these free transfers. Going, why are you bothering? Why are you waiting to see if Barcelona can actually pay their own staff first before they can pay you? Come join us. We can pay you actually more than what Barcelona are even offering. I just don't understand this.
Well, I mean, even Lewandowski now, there's talks that Lewandowski have stalled as well, even though that he's sort of agreed. There's no real way for them to actually pay them right now. So
they've got to pay.
He's
literally. This is
they've got to pay 400 million euros.
Lewandowski's literally rejected every single club other than Barcelona. Like he's literally just now he literally rejected 175k a week deal for a deal with PSG. So he's rejected Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah, so that gives Barca a lot of strength.
He is an idiot. He's an idiot.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
One thing I will say.
It's going to be easier to play at Barcelona than it is at any team in the EPL.
First of all, you can't get paid with 175k a week IOUs. That's what Barcelona is offering. Yeah, or some type of.
Maybe he's a big fan of tappers and he's just get paid.
You know what I mean? Like also, he's got a year left of his contract. Bayern are going to want a transfer fee as well. So what are we talking about?
That fee is going to be low if he's the only club he wants to go to is Barca.
Yeah, well, that 5 million. 2 million, them broke.
They can't afford.
I don't believe that broke that they've been reported, because if that was true, then we might as well just bid on all their players.
They owe 400 million.
So why don't we go after
the
Fati, Pedri? Why don't we go after these great players?
They'll get investment loans from people. That's what they do. And they'll get even more debt. So
they'll just get government money. That's what they'll get. They just keep getting government money. It's funny. I had them and Real Madrid are in the tatters. All of a sudden, they've got this money. Oh yeah, we're having him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's random,
so they got parachutes. So I don't think they're as bad as people make it out to be.
Of course they have. They've got government backing, 100%. There's 100% government backing.
Dude, of course they are. They're hiring out the new camp for badminton tournaments or whatever it is, aren't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Weddings.
Oh, you didn't. When they're selling the naming rights, it's going to be Spotify new camp or something.
You can play on the pitch for an hour for like 50 euros or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's mad.
Of course they're in the shit.
They're allowing it for weddings now as well, aren't they?
Exactly.
You know, I mean.
Can you imagine if Andreas Christensen comes back to Chelsea because they can't basically.
That might be. You know what? That wouldn't be the most shocking thing that happens in this transfer window. Seriously, if they can't they can't get the money in, afford to pay him. You know,
Jem, I was actually speaking to a concert promoter recently, and they were saying that Guns N' Roses are looking to do a worldwide tour, and they're looking to play out the new camp, and they've already been priced out of doing a gig there. So I've just thought, flaming hell, if Guns N' Roses are saying no, what's the chances of them? You know?
Yeah. That's what
I mean. You know, look, we're in a position where we're still being starved. It's only been just over a week. I do feel we're going to have to be patient. Look, Thomas Tuchel's not took a holiday to try and sort this squad out. I'm hoping that he ain't wasted his own time at the moment and that we're going to start seeing some sort of movement soon. Where and what they put as positions that they feel have to are top of the list that they need to sort, we're going to find out very soon. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how we react in the summer window. But the pre-season recoup is in 3 weeks' time, isn't it? Is that when they all get called back? I think it is.
July 2nd, is it? Something like that? Or July 3rd? Something like
around
that?
2-3 weeks' time. So they're going to want to get who they want. Their main priorities through the door so that they can potentially get them in pre-season. Whether it all gets done soon at the beginning or mid-pre-season, we're going to have to wait and see. But I do expect, and I keep saying this, I do expect Chelsea to do something this season. I'm not talking about just one player. I'm talking about a good, at least minimum 3 to 4 players. You know, we have to. We've been forced into having to do this. And you know, whether or not they keep on Broha, Conor Gallagher, you know, keep Emerson because they haven't got, you know, they don't see wing back as a main.
Emerson will play.
You've got to get 2 centre backs. There's the Ligt, there's Koulibaly, there's obviously the Kounde scenario. Then you've got the forward line. Look at Lukaku. Today he's gone back to Chelsea because he wants to force himself out the door. I would just lock the doors and leave his cases outside and say, we'll talk to Inter Nothing to say to you. You know, waste of time. Like, just get it done. Go and sort out the forward line. Get Dembele in, because for me, Dembele is probably going to be the replacement for Lukaku. You know that, didn't you? Let's be serious. Like, I don't think it will be the replacement in terms of the ability of the player. I'm talking about, you know, when you think about how we're going to play next season, I don't feel we're going to play with number 9s. I don't see us getting one if Lukaku goes. So I feel we're going to go back to playing the false supposed Kai Havertz 9 and having players running off around him, and maybe strengthen the forward line with people like Dembele who can create and hopefully contribute to some goals as well. I think that's what we might do. Personally, I don't think Thomas Tuchel has played with a typical number 9 throughout his career. Has he? Really? I don't. Other than with Lukaku, he didn't do it under PSG. He had Cavani, but he played him off the wing.
He actually told them as well. Didn't like
that's what I'm saying. You know, he doesn't really look at the two. I think he'd be more comfortable in the same sort of system as what Jurgen Klopp has, which is the sort of like the forwards that contribute, you know, and have that directiveness and that pace. And that's why Dembele is such an important player to him, because I feel that Dembele is that sort of player for him to be direct, to create, to maybe improve on his. Listen, he doesn't score enough goals, and he'll have to score more goals against Chelsea. But
Bremer. What's the link? Bremer, Gelson Bremer, the Brazilian centre back. I
don't know enough about this guy. So again, I know someone asked me this before. You know, I find it hard to answer when it comes to Italian Serie A. When people say, "Oh, this player in Italy is really good," I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure with that league. It just seems very. I said it earlier on. I feel like it's a very slow league compared to the Premier League. And you know, the thing with the Bundesliga, I know it's not the greatest of leagues, is that there is the element of quickness to the way that they play. It's not exactly the same standards as the Premier League, nowhere near it, but it's definitely not slow, if that makes sense. And with Italian football, it just feels very slow when you watch it. And I haven't watched tons of games, but I've watched a handful of them, and I just got bored. I'm not gonna lie, I just find their football very boring out there. But Mane is going Bayern Munich. Kimpembe is another option that Chelsea are supposedly looking at. I don't want Kimpembe.
He's the face of
one player that I want to stay away from as well. Kaylee, you've just come in when I'm about to finish. What are you saying?
How are we feeling about these transfer rumors, boys? How are we feeling?
I don't know what to do anymore. The way we're determined is the way that I look every day. Isn't it?
No, he's just done a whole show about it.
I don't even want to go over it again.
No. I don't want you. I don't want you to just, because I heard some of it, but I'm saying I see some impatience from people, that's fair, even though we just came off of hella sanctions and shit. But you cannot compare what Liverpool and City are doing right now to us. It's not going to be a good time. They're in a way better place with recruitment, a way better place with their scouts. Stop doing it to yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. Secondly, why do our targets always end up with some fuckery happening? Like, how did Kounde get injured? Like,
because he's had it before, and Deschamps plays players that are injured all the time.
Oh yeah, he did it to Kante too.
He's got a record of playing injured players that have a niggle or something, and then he just doesn't care. He just plays them.
Yeah,
Someone has to run up and give him a Charlie horse, man. It's crazy. But I just keep noticing that, like, we can never just get a good target in with no issues. No, like, we brought Lukaku in and we saw how that shit went. Like, we cannot get one good target. And I'm waiting. Like, when's the last time we had a good target, like, in the transfer window that's actually performed to their standards and is worth our money? Someone tell me, please.
Tchouaméni, but we never went for him.
We didn't get Tchouaméni. Real Madrid got Tchouaméni. I'm talking about someone that came to Chelsea and performed to their fucking standard.
Diego Costa.
Chilwell, probably. That's the only one.
Chilwell.
You know what? Yeah, I'll go with Chilwell. But obviously he got injured. That's not on him. But I'll definitely go. Why do you do this, Jem? I'm already in pain. I have to watch the Warriors play the Celtics. It's a long week for me, Jem.
You don't play to his standard. I mean, come on, man. He creates goals, you know. He done a little bit.
No. It's the movement. Remember, it's the movement. He's the German Dan James. No, but honestly, anyway. I'm slightly worried, Jem. We'll see what happens. I know we're gonna get targets. I know we're gonna get the targets.
Let's wait. It's only just been over a week, you know. Like,
No, I'm patient.
I would like us to be more aggressive. Don't get me wrong. The way Spurs have moved, I would love us to be that. That's what I want from my new owners. I want them to just be like, right, you want that? All right, let's do it. And just like set statements. Like, I still think Bowley will want to set statements by signing marquees, but I just don't know what they are. If it's a De Ligt, if he goes for a Rice.
Maybe clear where people don't want to spend money.
I think marquee is the wrong term he used. Because I'm looking at the transfer market. I don't see like an outstanding marquee signing that we can.
They'll make Rice.
I think they should have just stuck. I think they should have stuck with this is a rebuild and just leave it like that. They should have stuck like that. Seriously, just stuck like that. It's a rebuild because
it is a rebuild though. He's right.
If they say marquee, you're expecting a world-renowned player.
Class,
So, like people say Neymar. Or Neymar's never going to happen, by the way. But I'm just saying, it's like you think of a level like that, or a signing when you go, which takes the whole of football's breath away and go, oh my god, like that. You know what I mean? But I don't see that in the market at the moment. So
it'll most likely.
I mean, Haaland and Mbappe are gone, so all the marquees are.
Well, the marquee.
That's a different level, though. I would say Mbappe and Haaland aren't marked like that's like a world class.
of the current generation, they are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For us, we're gonna.
Haaland's going to be the summer of the window, signing of the summer window for me. Anyway, he is already. To be fair, for Man City, I don't think there'll be a better signing this season than what Haaland's gone to Man City. The Premier. You got Núñez. Yeah, that's literally Lukaku 2.0, mate.
Worst touch than Lukaku.
You got worst touch than Lukaku.
No. Listen, Núñez. I'm not even as far as I'm concerned.
Expect him to score goals.
But
he can't pass for his life. I'm telling you that.
Don't expect him to set up much.
No. But people were saying Núñez was better than Mane, and I was like, are you high or do you smoke crack? Which one is it? Like, what has Núñez done in the Prem? What has Núñez done in the Champions?
Was it 80 million?
87, 88, something like that in total.
87 point something.
You just done a Chelsea classic there, mate.
No, they really did, and that's why I was confused.
I got a lot of years to improve that touch.
You can keep your talking your talk.
I know. I said the same thing with Romelu Lukaku, mate.
Then
I still expected to score goals,
then it's eggers on your face, mate.
I accept. You just bought an £80 million Jota. That's all you bought.
No, he's just a better,
20 goals,
slightly better version.
No, that's good. No, that's what I mean. I still expect to score goals in your team because you're great. I think he's going to have a detrimental effect on Salah. That's what I think he's going to have.
Why does it have a detrimental effect?
Because he's not a false nine.
So what?
Darwin Núñez is a striker, and he's going to be leading that line and taking up space that Salah would have had when he goes.
And you also create space for Salah to take shots from outside the box.
Well, Salah needs to. We've already seen Salah.
And Salah's got the most assists as well this season. Don't forget that. And had 18 chances in the Prem alone.
Out of Liverpool's system, Salah is an average player, and we've seen it.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Ram was in here. Ram, who's winning the Prem next year? City or City?
Wait. Oh,
City.
Look, Graham, we're screwed, man. Focus on the Champions League. Focus on the cups like Chelsea have been doing. We'll still end up
saying, I don't think there's ever been a team that's done 3 in a row. That is not United or Liverpool. That is not United or Liverpool.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's factual.
Chelsea Arsenal have done it in the 30s.
When Núñez, Ram. When Núñez is blocking the space that Salah and Diaz are running into, like Lukaku does for Ash.
Or creating the space, yeah.
Like blocking, doesn't move, just stands there and blocks.
Well, creating the space, then go on.
You've got an £80 million decoy runner.
No. As much as I want that to happen, guys, let's be real. That's not happening. They have fucking Klopp. Klopp is gonna tell Núñez like, "Yo, stick the space here. Don't shadow strike." He's going to want him as a proper striker.
There's going to be so much pressure on Salah because Núñez got to settle in and Diaz has no end product. So they're going to have to...
When it's surface, Salah's leaving in a year. We just need to survive a year. We'll come back down to reality.
Unless he signs.
Messi's
you guys aren't tossing him the money for him to sign. If you would have told him, hey, yo, we'll give you $350K a week, he would have signed years ago.
We did.
Oh, shit. What does he want? $450? What does he want?
He wants 400, apparently.
Sheesh.
Anyway, on that note,
it's mainly because of you idiots giving like Lukaku's 375.
Hey, man.
Anyway, don't say that name, please. I don't know who that is. His name's Flopaku. Flopaku, yeah?
Hold that. You cheap skates.
Flop Arku. Anyway, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Get this over 150 likes, please. Subscribe if you're new. We're at 200. I think we're 115 away from 6K subscribers now. So big up to every single one of you guys for that. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Leave a comment below of who you would like to see as the first summer signing at Chelsea in the comments. Let's see it. There you go. There's a question for you. Get it in the comments. Let us know.
And smash that like button.
We'll be back soon. Dan Chelsea's coming. Dan, I'm just about to leave, mate.
Dan,
say your piece and go.
Dan? Dan?
Dan!
Yeah.
Dan!
going
Yeah,
once,
my God.
going twice.
Yeah,
No, he's speaking. He's speaking.
Hello,
Dan,
can
you
you hear
gonna
me?
talk?
Yeah, we
hear you.
can.
We're about to finish, mate. What are you about to say?
Yeah, I just know. I just want to ask what you guys discussing about. Was it about the transfer of Kounde?
Like an
Are you
update
asking
on
what
it?
the show is about?
Okay.
I thought you wanted an update on Kounde.
If you're asking what the show is about, let Jem finish and read.
Yeah.
Yeah, rewatch the show, bro.
Rewatch the show, man.
Yeah.
Rewatch the show, man.
Sorry.
He only.
I can't, Dan,
Okay,
I can't
man.
hear you, bro. You've got a real bad signal. I don't know. We can't hear you.
No, I
properly,
think
bro.
he's probably coding his mic. But anyway, Jem, cue the outro.
Yeah, guys, take it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will be back when Chelsea start actually doing shit. I think that might be weeks, but I'll still try
It
and
will
make
be
some.
weeks.
Oh, your
It
Jem
will
will
be
probably do a
weeks.
debate
Peace
show.
out.
So,
See you again soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll be back again soon. See ya.